So most people use GitHub to post their open source projects, no sir?
Yes, so this is what is GitHub. Okay, so actually Python is open source, which means Python, again, the Python programming language which we get is again some piece of code which has been written by a lot of developers. Okay, so how many developers? You can see there are 1,200 developers. Okay, you can see contributors, right? So lots and lots of people have written the code. So open source is nothing but the source code. Source code is nothing but the program, the software which you write. Open means it is open to view, right? You can see it, correct? That is what is open.
Like Google, like we can use it, we can see and do anything. That's an open source.
That is what is open source. Okay, so yes, so that is. But open source is something which is Python, and Python is free to use also. There could be software which can be open source, but they may not be free to use. Okay, so that is what is Python. Now, right? So see, this is basically Python is one of the most popular programming language. Okay, you can see that no, this is coming from this website, yeah, PYPL, which is basically programming language popularity, and you can see which language is on the top.
Python.
Python, very good. So can you guess what could be the reasons why Python is so popular?
Because it's very easy to code.
Because it is easy to learn.
Easy to learn, right? That is,
and it is because of functionality also, sir.
Very good. Yes, Amol, right answer. Right answer. Functionality. So it's easy to learn. That doesn't mean it is less powerful. It is very powerful. Okay, it is very powerful. So this is actually the basically the reason, almost the topmost reason. Other reasons are that it is open source. You can go and see the code. Not only you can see the code, but you can also contribute to it. Let's say if, once you grow up and you have learned Python very well, and you want to contribute some features in it, so some language features, you can do that, right? So it is open source. You can make changes according to your needs. Of course, there will be moderators who will check your code and see whether it makes sense, right? And then they will include in Python source. So that is what is Python. One of the reasons. Other reasons is you write once and run anywhere. So the same Python code which you write, you can run on any operating system. It could be Windows, Mac, Linux, or Unix. So have you guys heard about these operating systems?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, very good, very good. So first of all, can you tell me what is operating system?
So 7th.
And operating system is a it is a software in which operates your system and gives all, like when we select a particular app and we want to open it, like it commands your computer to do this, then the app opens. That's a operating system.
Okay, yeah, that's a good thought. Anybody else wants to share what is operating system?
So that makes the hardware functional, sir. Useful.
Makes what useful?
So the hardware.
Excellent. That is a very close answer. That is what operating system does. Operating system is basically an interface between us and hardware.
Computer.
Us or the user. Okay, and the hardware. Now, can you tell me what is the difference between hardware and software?
Yeah, hardware is like in the phone, like LEDs, the outer cover of and software is the code inside to make it work. That's called software.
Excellent, excellent. So well done. So hardware is something which you can touch and see, right? Can you give me some examples of hardware? Like in a computer, what all hardware do you see?
So speakers, monitor,
the
CPU,
and the camera. And like the outer cover of the computer.
So motherboard.
Yeah, motherboard also, and even the casing is hardware. Anything which is hard, right, which you can touch, that is hardware, right? Software is the program which is running. Now, see, you see these hardware. These hardwares are nothing. They won't do anything for you unless until you have software to operate it. Correct. So
Yes,
there
sir.
has to be some code which needs to be written, which will operate that software. Correct. Now these softwares
Yeah.
are many times called device drivers. So these are different devices, and the software is called device drivers. Okay.
Sir,
Yeah.
so we can also code it without the software, sir, in what's chips like that, sir. But it will be very hard, sir.
That will be very hard. Exactly. So let's say, for example, we want to control the CPU, right? Or we want to control the camera. If we have to write the code to control the camera, it will be very hard. Now, in our operating system, if we have to just switch on the speaker, we just go an option and select, okay, switch on the speaker, or switch on the camera, or switch off the camera. We just press a button, right? And all that is taken care. So operating system is taking care of managing the hardware. It is operating system is a layer between us and the hardware. Okay. So all your device drivers, all the code to control all that. So there are different operating systems. Now, why do we have different operating systems? Like we have Mac, then we have Windows. Can you tell me?
Like the most
MS
famous
DOS.
operating system is Mac.
Okay, most.
Sir, MS DOS, sir. Sir, it's operating system.
Yeah, MS-DOS is also a operating system. Well done. Yes, MS-DOS is also an operating system.
Sir, Linux.
Linux, exactly. And then there are few more operating systems.
So Ubuntu.
Yeah, Ubuntu is a flavor of Linux, so I will just categorize inside Linux. But there are other operating systems also. Operating
So
system.
Unix.
Okay, yes, very good. And then there is Android also, right? Android,
iOS.
iOS.
Moto.
Yes, right. So all these things are.
Lenovo.
Lenovo is the name of the company, name of the brand. Okay.
So BlackBerry.
Yeah, BlackBerry will probably. I think BlackBerry is using Android these days, right? Earlier
Yes.
they had different operating systems. You are right. Even on mobile phones, there were 7 or 8 different type of operating systems. But all those have been dropped. Only operating system which are there in the market are Android and iOS. Okay. Even Windows operating system was pretty popular, right? Windows Phone. But
Yes,
even
sir.
that
Now
was
it's
That
not
is
popular.
not popular. Windows 10 Pro and all.
yeah, no, I'm saying Windows Phone, there was an operating system, but that has been dropped. Even Windows phones, they are using Android. Okay. Android.
So I heard that they are using Windows 8 like that, sir.
Oh, okay. Okay, fine. Okay, so now depending on the different user choices, these are the different operating systems. It provides different way of interfaces. Okay, so that is what actually is operating system. And we were talking about the programming language popularity, right? So you can see Python is 29%, and in fact, if you go to this URL, Python's popularity has even increased. I was just checking some last. See, it has increased even further, right? So Python is liked by almost 1/3 of the world. One third of the world people like Python, right? And then second comes Java. Java is slowly coming down, but still Java is a very useful programming language. Now, guys, can you look at it and tell me which programming languages do what?
So can I Amok say?
Yeah, Mo, go ahead.
So Python they'll use for universal, sir, mostly.
Universal.
So Java they will use for backend of internet programming, sir.
Yes,
JavaScript is used for front end, sir, for websites.
very good.
C# is part of .NET, sir. We will use it to make applications like that, sir.
Very
So
good.
PHP will use for also the backend. Then C and C++ also will use to make applications, programs like that, sir.
Right.
R will use for data science and Objective-C also for some programming. So Swift will use to make iOS and for Apple apps, and Kotlin we use for Android apps.
Okay, big round of applause to Amok. He has covered everything and very close responses. He has covered all the languages pretty closely. Well done, Amok. You have very good information about it. Yeah, Objective-C is a previous version which was used, programming language, which was used for iOS development. iOS and Mac OS development was done in Objective-C. The new one is Swift. Kotlin is used for mobile app development, right? Similar to Java, both of them are used for even for Android. Okay, and JavaScript is mostly done for the web pages. Well done. right? So different programming languages and different purpose. Python is a general purpose programming language, and the reason Python is becoming more popular is because Python helps you write a lot of artificial intelligence code. Okay, so now because a lot of artificial intelligence libraries have quite matured, so Python is becoming more and more popular because a lot of automations and artificial intelligence code can be written using Python. Okay, so that is what is Python, and Python is also used on server-side technologies, right? So in a grand scheme of things, this is basically your client-server type of application. So Python runs generally on the server side, okay, and on client side, what technologies generally you see?
JavaScript, sir.
Yeah, so you will, if it is browser, you will see JavaScript. If it is mobile app, you can see Kotlin or
HTML, CSS.
yeah, say website will have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, all that it will have. So server side. So what is server? So can anybody tell what is server?
Sir, can Amok say?
Yes, Amok, tell.
So server is a place where your data will be stored, and also the place where the internet operates, sir.
Okay, place.
Sir, every website, if you search anything in Google, sir, it will give an get request to the server, sir. Then the
Yes.
server will send the request back to the client.
Yes, yes, very good. Yeah. Okay, so server is nothing, as the name says, server will serve. It will serve what? It will serve the response to any request which I have.
Sir,
Okay.
someone named iPad is in the meeting.
Yeah, so you can, yeah, somebody is using iPad, and then they are from their iPad, they have connected to Zoom server. We are using Zoom platform for this call, right? And even I am connected to Zoom server, right? So I'm able to see you and you are able to see me, right? So this is what is server and client side applications, right? And Python is used for lot of server development also. And also Python is used for game development and different purpose, right? So
Yes,
now
sir.
let's actually I was talking about Python version, right? So we
Yes, sir.
generally use 3 because 2 is old, and there's no point of using version 2. So we will always be using 3, Python 3.x, and that x can be Python 3.8, Python 3.7, all that is fine. Okay, and these are the big players, big companies which use Python. Can you identify some of them?
Yes, sir.
Firefox,
Dropbox.
YouTube, Nokia,
Sir,
Instagram,
Dropbox,
Dropbox,
NASA,
Spotify, Pinterest,
Firefox,
Goldman,
Google,
Lattice, and
Weather
Weather
Channel,
Channel, Expedia, Yahoo, Reddit,
Instagram,
Google,
Nokia,
Titanic,
YouTube,
IBM.
Facebook, Uber,
Okay,
Yahoo, Reddit, IBM, PayPal,
exactly.
Expedia.
So you see, like almost all of the big companies use Python. So uh, that also tells us how useful Python is. Python programming is so useful, and it is always good to learn something which is a very good thing, because that will be an important skill which we can learn, and then we can create many different things. Okay, so now right, so these are different now this is a story about Python. I am sure you guys are aware of this. Have Do you know this thirsty crow story?
Yes, sir.
Right, so see, this is a thirsty crow, but this crow is smart, right? And because this crow is thirsty and water level is down, so he's putting stones, he's dropping stones, and once the water comes, this thirsty crow gets to drink the water. This is non-programmer, this kind of old thirsty crow. A new thirsty crow who's a programmer, he is smart, he will do some kind of automation, he will use some tool to automate his process, right? In simple way, he can drink water. And the Python programmers go one step ahead. They will use very nice automation tools, and then they will relax and they will enjoy. They will enjoy their drink. Okay, so that is how Python programmers enjoy programming in Python. Okay, so we will be using some of the IDEs which, as Amog is using VS Code, and for the timing we will use our REPL shell, which I think you guys have opened the REPL shell, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we will be using our REPL shell, and this is something how REPL shell. Did you all try to run the program on REPL shell? Did it work for you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So, okay.
Sir, you're saying IPA in Jupyter Notebook, sir?
I'm using Jupyter Notebook. So I generally use this for my classes, and Jupyter Notebooks makes it very easy because I can capture the text as well as I can write any code also in Jupyter Notebook. Okay, and it is a lot
Yes,
used
sir.
by the data scientists and AI developers. Jupyter Notebooks becomes very easy because you can explain what you're doing and you can also run the code, so they can just execute and see the output. Okay, so let's write our first program in Python, and let's go. If you have Python environment ready with you, you can use that. Otherwise, go to REPL.it and write a program. So anytime you're learning a new language, you should write a program called Hello World or Hello Python. This is something which you are going to write. Okay, so can you just go to REPL shell, write this, run your code, and see if you get this output as Hello Python. So you have to go there, REPL shell, and then you have to say print, say hello Python. Okay, and you just simply run it and see what is the value you get. So Carson, makes sense. Arush, you can open REPL.it and then you can try this program.
So my program is finished, sir. It took a lot of time to compile, sir.
It took a lot of time to compile.
No, sir, a bit, sir. So my computer is a bit slow.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, you can always use the browser. If REPL.it, you can do that. So that's very good. You can also, yeah, so VS Code is pretty good. I think that it's an IDE is not that heavy, but if you want, you can use some other IDEs like Sublime Text or Atom. These are just code editor. This may be easier, and like for example, I can write a code here, print and hello world, right? And then I save this code somewhere on my computer. So I'm just going to save it inside my home directory, and I will say hello.py. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And so it is saved, and then you can actually go to your command prompt, and since your command prompt, since your Python would be installed on computer, you can go to the location where the file is. You can see the file here, right here, correct? And to
Yes,
run
sir.
it, you can just say Python. I have to say Python 3 because I have multiple version of Python installed, but you can
Minus U.
just say Python, and then you give the file name and you hit enter, and then it will execute your Python code. You can do from your command line also, and if VS Code is taking a lot of time, you can use some editor, and this editor can be a notepad also.
No, sir, my whole computer is slow, so it will take some time, sir.
Okay.
Not only VS Code, sir.
Okay, maybe because VS Code will also take a lot of memory. We can try out by writing code on on Notepad and see how it goes. Okay. Right. So how are you doing, guys? Carson, Arush, Tarashvi, Sriram, have you done with this code? Hello Python on REPL.it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, but I'm finding the website in which I have to do the code.
Okay, you just have to go to this REPL.it, REPL.it. Okay.
REPL.it.
Yeah, it's .it, right? So I'm just going to put it again on chat. And if you are finding it difficult, you can actually just click this link. It will open it. It's there in the chat now. Okay. So this is something.
Opened it.
Yeah, this is something which you can run that. Once you run the code,
Oh
then
yes, I start coding.
Yeah, so you can say start coding, select Python, and then you say create REPL. Okay, REPL is,
Create REPL.
yeah, so REPL is nothing but it's a REPL shell. It's read,
Okay.
eval, print
So
loop. Okay, read, eval, print loop. So you have REPL shell here, which means you can run the code. You can run the code here also, right?
sir, for me it's loading. It seems booting
It's
something
code
and all.
takes time. You can write a code here also. This is an interactive shell on
So
the
can we use Python 3.8 sir, that exe execute for
yeah,
directly sir?
yeah, you can do that also. You can execute using that also. This is for those who don't have Python installed on the computer. Okay. So, but it's pretty much the code is pretty much the same. The same code will work on your computer also. You write it locally. Okay. So this is good. Now, so Sriram, is it done for you? Hello, print hello Python.
Okay, print hello Python.
Yeah.
So print bracket starts and double slash hello Python.
Okay. Good.
Hello Python.
Yes.
Now and let me see by running it.
Yes. So
Oh yeah, it's telling hello Python.
yeah. So great. So you have said hello to Python, right? That is a ritual. Whenever you are learning a new programming language, you should also always say hello to somebody, right? Same goes with your programming language. So now since we have said hello to Python, let's write our first program. And the first program would be, let's let's calculate area of circle. Okay. So what is the area of circle? This is
So
our,
3 point something something sir.
yeah, area of circle. I'm just going to come to that. So see, I'm writing a program, okay, to calculate area of circle. Okay,
Okay.
so now this program, what is the formula for area of circle? So area is equal to pi into r into r is pi r square, correct? And r is nothing but the radius. So I will just show you what I mean. So you see, this is the circle and area is pi r square. Pi is nothing but a constant. Okay, it's just a number, and the value of pi is 3.14.
1.4.
Yeah, right. So now the value of pi is uh, 3.14. Okay, and that's how you have to calculate the area of circle, and then you have to print the area, right? So we can say r as 50. Okay, and then we say pi is this 3.8, and then we can use another variable called area, and we will multiply with r into r, right? And we
So
get,
you can cut it now sir, that code written before.
you can remove that code. Yes, you can remove that code. If you want, you can create a new file also if you wish. You can just click on add file. You can create a new file also. But you can remove the earlier code. You have already said hello to Python, so you can remove that code. So now you print area is equal to comma area. Okay, just write this program and then we will understand this program. So don't worry if you don't understand this program. Just write this and make sure you're getting this output correct. And see, this is the area which I'm getting. Make sure you're getting this output correct. And then we will understand this program, what exactly we are doing in this. Okay.
Okay.
So just write area of circle program.
So finished. Finished.
Okay. So can you just put it up in the chat? You can send it privately to me, Amo.
Okay sir. Sir in Zoom sir.
Yeah, in Zoom chat, you can put it up.
Sir source code or results sir?
No, just the source code.
Okay sir.
So Arush, Tarashvi, I hope things are going fine for you and you're able to write the code and execute and get the results. Let me know once you guys are done. Carson, Sriram, Arush, Tarasvi. Amuk, can you paste the code in Zoom chat? Sriram, have you got the output? Have you got the area of circle?
Yeah. Mine is 7850.0.
Excellent. Excellent work, Sriram. How about you, Carson?
Yes, sir.
You have got this result?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Arush? Arush, have you got the result?
I'm in the last code. I'm almost done.
I'm sure. Tarashvi? Amog, are you there? Amog, can you put up your code in chat so that I can see? Okay, good. Yeah, I can see your code. So radius is 23 and you have printed the area. Very good. Or printf also. So printf needs to have strings.
Sir,
But
should I also submit my code?
no, I think that's good enough. You can actually, you would have probably written in the same way. We are going to discuss about this code. Okay. So, Amog, like, can you try another code while we are discussing this code with others? Can you try a code? Can you write a code to find whether a number is a prime number or not? Can you do that?
Yes, sir, I'll try.
Okay, very good. Okay, so you can focus on that and I will have discussion about this code with other students. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay, so Arush, is it done for you? Okay. Right. So see, this is the program which we have written to solve a problem for us. This program is basically doing the calculation of area for us. Instead of we are doing in the calculator, we just call this program and it will calculate the area of a circle for us. At the moment, radius is something which we have hard coded. Okay, we have hard coded the radius as 50. We can change this radius to anything else. Okay, we can also take input from user. You can also take input from user for the radius, and we can calculate calculate the area of the circle of the radius which user wants. We will look into it in just a minute. But here, can you tell me what is r, pi, and area? These are the three things. There's something common in it. R, pi, and area. What are these three things?
So variables.
Excellent. These are variables. Very good. Yeah.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, my parents took my laptop for because they have some work, sir, for 30 minutes only, sir. Sir, can I write after 30 minutes a code, sir?
Okay, fine. Sure. Sure.
Okay, sir.
Right. So yeah, so R, pi, and area are variables. Now, can anybody tell what is a variable?
A variable is in Scratch. I know what a variable is, a like container.
It's a container. Very good. It contains a value, right? It contains a value. That is what is variable. And here, what we have said, R is a variable which is going to contain the value 50. Okay. We are assigning value 50 to R, and equal to is the assignment operator. Whenever you have a line like this, the assignment will always happen in this direction. Okay. From this to this side, from right to left. Okay. So I can have another variable also, like, no, let's say, for example, I have another one variable as X, which is 10, and I have another variable Y, which is 20. So if I write a line of code, X is equal to Y, what will happen after this line of code? What will happen to the value of X and Y? Can you tell? So let me just.
Sir, can I say?
Among, let's give others chance. I know you know
Okay,
the
sir.
answer. Okay, so let's give others chance. So X is equal to 10 and Y is equal to 20. And as I said, assignment happens from right to left, from right to left. So can you tell me what will be the value of X and Y now? If I print X and Y, what will be the value? Carson, can you tell? Arush?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I am not sure if you heard my question. So this is the question which I have in the screen. Can you tell me what will be the value of X and Y?
So 20.
So the value of X and Y is
Sorry, value of X and Y? Sorry, I missed you, Arush. Your voice. So what is the value of X and Y?
so 30.
Okay, 30. Okay. And Carson, you said 20, right? Both X and Y will have values 20. What about you, Sriram?
No idea.
Okay, no problem. So as I said, the assignment happens from right to left, so which means assignment will happen from Y to X. Okay, what is the value of Y before this line? What is the value of Y which was assigned to Y? 20, right? And we assign 10 to X, but we are doing the assignment X is equal to Y, which means Y value will be assigned to X, because this is the direction in which assignment will happen, right? This direction from Y to X. Once you do that, you see what is the value of X. It has become
X is 20.
and Y is also 20. Both the values are 20. So assignment happened from Y to X, not from X to Y. Okay. So that is how you assign values to variables. Fine. Makes sense, right? And then we assign another value to pi, which is 3.14, and then we assign another, and then we did a calculation. We did a calculation for area of circle. This is the formula for area of circle, which is pi into r into r. Okay, and the value of this we assigned to area. Okay, so this is how we calculate the area of circle. Fine. Now, can you tell me what is this line? What is print here?
Print.
What is print here?
What does it do? Prints area.
Amok, can you tell what is print? Amok, can you tell me what is print?
So print is to print the value, display the values, sir, on the screen.
Yeah, it is to display the value, but print is also something.
Sir, print is a keyword, sir.
Okay, print is not a keyword. Print is a function. Okay.
Okay,
Always,
sir.
whenever you have function, you will always see some brackets. Okay, so that's what you see. You have brackets here. Now the question is, what is a function? What is a function?
So some programs, sir, written by someone else or us to find a value or like that, sir.
Yeah, so program is a very generic thing. Everything is program. But specifically, what is a function?
So function is a code, sir, which will do something for us, sir. And we can call it in anywhere, sir.
Yeah. So function generally has a functionality, functionality or some thing it will do. Functionality, right? Functionality is nothing but some purpose. It will have some purpose of it. Like
Yes, sir.
print has a purpose. Print function has a purpose of whatever you pass to print function. It will just display on the screen. And this is how we are displaying it on the screen. So that is what is the purpose of print. Okay. Now
Yes, sir.
if we just try to modify this program to any generic thing, we want to take input from the user. Okay. So
Okay, sir.
let's say here we had hard coded 50 as the value, right? Let's say we want to take input from a user, and for that we can use another function called input, and then we can say enter radius. Okay, we do something like this, and now it will prompt the user for the value. Now, Amol, can you tell me, will this work fine or not?
Yes, it will work fine.
Okay, there is a small issue. Maybe you will figure it out when I run it. Okay, so see, it is prompting me enter radius, and let's say I enter the radius again as 50. Okay, so see, there's a problem here, right? You can see this.
Sir, we should typecast it into integer, sir.
Yeah, so we have to use int function because that is what we are entering, right? We are entering int, right? So we have to convert it into number. You cannot. So here, what happens is whenever you're using input function, what the value is entered by the user comes to you as string. Okay, it comes to you as string. So you cannot do a mathematical operation between string, right? String and number. Can you do mathematical operation?
No, sir.
So for a mathematical operation to happen, what should be all the operands in that? They all have to be numbers, correct?
Yes, sir.
Right? So we have to convert into int, right? So
Sir,
yeah.
can we typecast it later, sir? After input also, sir. Can we typecast it later, sir?
Yes, you can do that. That's another way of writing the program. R is equal to int R. You can do this also, but definitely you have to do before you're doing the calculation, right? Before the calculation is something which you have to do before it. But generally this pattern is so common that it is combined. It's combined right here, okay? But this can also be done. So let's run this program again, okay? So now it's asking for the radius and I entered 50. And see, now it is able to give me the answer, right? It is able to do the calculation. So this is how I'm able to take input from the users, correct? So this is how we can make our program more interactive, right? So that is what we could do with this program, and we are solving a problem for the user. Let's say there is a very large area, large radius, right? You don't know. So you just simply run this program and it will tell the area of that circle for that. Okay, so guys, we will kind of continue with this learning, but we will just take a quick break of 5 minutes. Let's take a
Okay.
screen break. It's already 1 hour, 10 minutes. So let's take a screen break of 5 minutes. Okay, and just gather at exactly at 3:15.
Sir, should we leave the call or something?
Don't have to leave the call. You can leave. You can just roam around for 5 minutes, drink water, whatever. Just move away from the screen. Take a break of 5 minutes. Okay.
Oh, okay, sir.
Right, and then let's gather exactly at 3:15, and we will write some more code, and we will
Okay.
learn what is more there in Python? Continue with the class. So you can see my screen now, right? Okay, fine. So we were right here. So now before we get into other things, and I am starting my video. So all of you can actually switch on your video if you have your camera working. And so now we will just look at what are the different things which are there in Python, and what are the different things which we have in Python programming. Okay, so we'll just go to Python for juniors, this course. What all do we cover? Okay, and I will also show you a quick demo of the things which we will be doing. So yes, introduction to Python programming. This is something which we are doing today. Then we will look at some tools, variables, and blocks in session 2. Then control flow statements, if statement, right, in session 3. Then we come to while loop. Then we cover for loop. Then we do a lot of discussion on strings. Strings a pretty important data type, and it lets you do a lot of things, okay, for you. Then we have other data types which we will discuss, right? So what are the different data types? Then complex data types like collections, right? All those things will be there.
So tuples.
Tuples, yes, tuples, list, dictionaries, set. These are different collections, okay? Then we get on with functions, okay? Function, like we have used some functions, right? So we use print function, then we use input function, and then we use int function, right? Accordingly, we can create our own functions, okay? They are called user-defined functions, so we can create our own. So that is something which we'll be covering. Then operators, exception handling, and then file input and output. Through your program, you can actually access any program, anything in your computer, and then you can run it, okay? You can access that file, you can read and write to that file. That is something which we'll do. And then there's something called the first project, which is your banking project. I'll just show you a quick demo of the banking project. So like, for example, we have this code which we are going to run. So you guys have visited your ATMs? Have you visited ATMs? If you have visited it, you will see some interactions like this, right? So log in to access your account. So here I'm just going to access account using account number 10,000, and it will ask me a PIN. So the PIN of this account is 1234, and it has successfully authenticated me, and it has found that, okay, I'm the manager of this branch. So what I will do as a manager is I will actually, it gives me an option to choose. I'm going to choose one, and I would open an account. Okay, so I'm just going to open an account. Enter your name. So let's say I'm opening an account for Amog. Okay, and let's say I'm putting in a PIN as 5566, right? So, and opening balance, let's say I'm starting with opening balance of 25,000, right? So account created, right? And this is the account number which it has given. So we will try to log in with this account number and see whether we actually land up in Amog's account or not. Okay, so for that I will just run this code again and enter Amog's account number. And what is the PIN which we used? What is the PIN which we used for Amog?
Yes.
556.
Very good. 5566 is the PIN which we used, right? So it has logged me in and says, thank you for authenticating yourself, Amog. Okay, and select your option. So we deposited 25,000 in Amog's account. Let's check his balance. Whether do we have 25,000 or not? So so indeed we have 25,000. Okay. Now from other options, let's say Amog wants to withdraw money. So we are going to select option 2. And amount which we want to withdraw, which Amog wants to withdraw, let's say he wants to withdraw 5,000, right? So it says, okay, withdrawal successful because Amog's account had sufficient money. Withdrawal successful. Remember to collect your cash. So Amok should remember to collect his cash. Now let's check what is the balance again. So we will just try out 4 and we see, okay, the balance is 20,000 for Amok. Okay. Now what else can we do? We can actually deposit some amount. Let's try depositing some amount. Let's say this time I'm depositing, let's say 8,000. So now let's check what is the balance. What should be the balance now?
28,000.
Very good. So the balance is correctly, it is 28,000. Okay. And all this data is persisted. And even if we exit the program by 5, all this data is actually available. Why? Because we are using a file to store the information. So see, this is the record for Amok and his PIN and his account number and his balance. Everything is there, right? So this is actually doing something like this gives you basically, this is a kind of a real software which runs in an ATM, right? So doing something like this gives you a flavor of how real life software development is done. Okay, so this is one of the projects which you have to build, and then there is an evaluation, and depending on your evaluation you get grades in your certificate. Okay, now so that is the banking application, and then there is a game development also which is covered in the class. And this game development, so to start with, we will be actually creating 2 games. One is Snake, and let me run this game and let's see. So you get this UI element, and have you guys played this game? Have you guys played this game? This game is called Snake. You know the functionality of this game? So as in when Snake is getting the food, it is becoming faster and faster. Okay, it is becoming faster and faster. See, okay, now it has become so fast that it becomes really hard to manage this. And I am not very good with the game, so you guys must be better. And you can.
Sorry, because
So
of
why
some
the snake is not increasing the size, sir?
Yes, Snake is not increasing the size because this is a simple version of the Snake. The complicated version can increase the size, but for that you have to write a lot of code, and then it has been written.
Sir, I written the same code, sir, but with the increasing size also, sir.
You have written increasing size, and you have used
Also, sir.
what library did you use to create game?
The Pygame only, sir. Only 200 lines of code, sir.
Okay, only 200 lines of code. So all that you have written by yourself?
No, sir. Some help of tutorials I saw, sir. I did it, sir.
Okay, with the help of tutorials. Yeah, so that's very good. So you should try writing those kind of games a little bit more. Okay, and then there is another game which we also will build. Okay, with as part of this course, which is called Space Invader, and you guys would have seen this game, right? So now see, you can integrate sound system. Okay, I just missed it, and okay, so I think my game again, because I think 2 Pygames are running, and it's probably making my computer go slow. So I will just run this code again. Okay, yeah, so it's a little bit faster. So these guys are Space Invader. 8 hour space. As soon as my school, and you see, you can integrate the sound. You can, and okay, I missed completely. So I'm trying to invade. I missed it. And looks like this guy is going to invade this space. Okay, so this is the game over. This is my score. So this is also something which you build as part of this course, where you can build pretty interesting games. And a lot of people have built games like Flappy Bird, Mario, Zelda using Python Pygame. Okay, so you guys can also try all that, right? So this is what is about the course details I just wanted to cover. Now let's continue with our Python, and we were doing the introduction to Python, right? So we just did this, and okay, let's see how really the program executes. So we know that we write some bunch of code and program gets executed. Now let's see how really the program works, right? So for that, let's understand what is the computer system architecture, right? So these are the different input devices and these are the different output devices. So what is input device and what is output device?
Input device is like where you enter the code, and output device is where the like LED glows, the motor works, so that is the output.
Okay, in computer terms, what will be the input devices? In computer terms, what will be the input devices? Anybody? Amog, Arush?
The 5566 keyboards.
So the keyboard,
Yeah,
mouse.
keyboard, mouse. These are input devices.
Microphone.
Microphone is another input device. What about camera?
And output devices are our screen, speakers. These are output devices.
Very good, excellent. So these are the output devices, right? Input device is something which we use to feed in input to the computer. And this is the CPU of the computer. Now CPU consists of what all CPU consists of? So the important units are CPU and the memory unit. Now memory unit consists of two things, RAM and HDD. HDD is nothing but the hard disk or CD also. So what is the difference between RAM and hard disk? Can anybody tell? Amog, Arush, what is difference? What is RAM? Can you tell what is RAM?
So RAM is random access memory, sir. It will give the memory for temporary, sir.
It will give temporary memory, and hard disk will give the permanent memory, permanent storage. Okay, so that is what is hard disk. But RAM is called a primary memory,
The
and hard
data
disk is
stored in
called
the RAM will be lost when you reboot the system or when you turn it off.
exactly, yes, right, Carsten. So RAM information which is there in the RAM, it will be lost because it is temporary, right? But still, you know what? RAM is called primary memory and hard disk is called secondary memory. Can you tell me why?
So because we need RAM, sir, while working, sir.
Okay, we need RAM while working, but we need hard disk also while working. No?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So why it is RAM is called primary memory and why hard disk is called secondary memory?
So because RAM we use while working mostly, sir. Secondary memory we use it when we want to store something like that, sir.
Okay, you're very close, Amog. You're right. So RAM is primary memory because that is how when the program is executing or when your softwares are open, they will be living in the RAM. Okay. Hard disk is nothing but a persistent storage device, which is permanent memory, right? So RAM, random access memory, that is very fast. It's very fast. Okay. It is in a tune of 1,000 times faster than your hard disk. Okay, it's 1,000 times faster than your hard disk. So when
Sir, are you using Mac?
I am using Mac, yes.
I got notice from that sign in instructor.
Okay, very good. Yes, that's cool. Right. So this is basically the RAM and hard disk. That's a difference. Okay. Now, how your code executes? So this is the execution which happens. Now, RAM stores your program. Okay, you write program in high level language, but is that the way computer understands a program?
No.
Right? Yeah, so Python is a high level language. So that is more of a user friendly language, but in the same way, it cannot be understood by the computer. Computer we understand by breaking into machine language or compiling into machine language, machine code. Machine code is nothing but the combinations of zeros and ones, right? So all your instructions are converted, and the conversion happens with the process called compilation or interpretation. Okay, interpreter or compiler. These are the process in which you convert high level programming language to low level programming language. Okay, so now all your program is actually stored in the memory. It will be, once you compile or interpret, it will be converted into machine language, and those instructions are given to CPU to execute. So CPU will get the instructions and then it will execute it, and then it will say, okay, what next? What next? It will keep on saying, what next? What next? And this cycle, this instruction and fetching of instruction, decode and execute cycle, CPU executes almost like,
Wi-Fi overload.
it executes almost like billion times in a second. Yeah, okay. It executes billion times in a second. That's why, if let's say if we have this calculation of this number into this thing, into something like this, no, we will take a lot of time to do this calculation, but computer will just do it in like fraction of a second, because it is executing these instructions at a very fast speed. So computer is a very powerful machine, right? But you have to provide it the intelligence to run the program, right? So this is how your programming, your code execution happens, and this is how your basically your data is stored. Whenever you create a variable, your variable is stored in the memory. Memory is nothing but it's a RAM. Okay, if you see memory here, it's nothing but the RAM, and these are the different locations where your variables are stored. So this is given to CPU, and CPU will there are two things happening. One is the data, and another thing is the address. Okay, now for example, no, I have a data. Let's say I have a data. Let's say number 25. Now I want to store this data on my computer, so it has to be stored on certain memory location, right? So that I'm able to fetch it, right? To get this data, I need the memory location. Is for example, if I have to, let's say, go to a place, right? What do I know of that place? If I have, let's say, if I have to go to a place like some address, I have to go, right? So for that person has to provide me address of his place. Then only I'll be able to go and get it, right? So whenever anything which happens on the computer, if you are not storing with memory, you cannot access it, right? So that is how this memory execution happens, right? So this is how the code executes. So this is a four-step process. Can you just read what is the four? Can anybody explain what exactly is happening here in this diagram? Yes, can anybody explain this? What is happening here in this diagram? So this is what is this?
So this is CPU, sir, and RAM.
Yeah, so CPU is nothing but a microprocessor. Microprocessor is something which is running your instructions, which is executing your instructions. So RAM is your random access memory, which means no, your data can be actually stored anywhere and pulled from anywhere. That's why it is called random. And so basically the instruction is pulled, which is called fetch. This is step one. Then the instruction is decoded by CPU, then it is executed, and then it is stored. So this is the cycle which keeps on running for your program. Let's say if you have 100 lines of program, this will keep on running no, many times. In fact, one line of code will be broken into multiple instructions. We'll keep on running multiple times. This is how your computer program runs actually in the computer. Okay, is it clear? Is it clear, guys? How the execution happens in the computer? what different parts come into play? Guys, can you turn on your cameras? I'm not able to see you guys. Arush, Amog, Carson. Okay, so yeah, so now we are going to write another program which is called swapping of the number. Okay, so can anybody tell why would anybody wants to swap the number? Okay, first of all, tell me what is swapping of the number? So I will just create another file. I will just say swap program. Okay, swap.py. Okay, so add a file. Right, so swap is nothing but, anybody can tell what is swap? Okay, swap is actually means interchanging. It's an English word. Okay, it means interchanging. Okay, so let's say if x is equal to let's say 25 and y is equal to 50, swapping means I want to interchange the values of x and y. Okay, so can you tell me how will you do this program?
Sir, so we can make a variable, sir, known as z, sir.
Yeah.
So then you can write z equals x, then x equals y, then y equals z.
Very good. Yeah, so that is what is one of the way of doing it using the temporary variables, right? Okay, so but before we proceed with swapping, can anybody tell why would we need to swap the numbers?
So to change values, sir, from one
Yes,
variable
change
to
the
another.
values. In what condition? Can you give me any example where we would want to change the values? I think you guys have used a lot, right? The one of the thing is called sorting. Have you done sorting? You know what is
Yes,
sorting?
to find everything, sir.
Yeah, so you can sort the numbers or anything in certain order, right? So if I say I want to sort the scores, what the class achieved, right? So the scores can be 15, 25, then 10. You want to sort from, you want to sort in order. That order can be lower to higher or higher to lower, correct? Ascending or descending. So in the sorting program, you will have to interchange the values. Like for example, 10 is smaller than 25. So it has to come on the left side. So we are going to swap this value. Then again, we are going to compare 15 with 10. And because 10 is smaller than 15, then we will again swap. So that is one of the examples where you can use swapping. Okay. So guys, so Amog said one way. Can anybody else tell what really Amog said, how to go about swapping? And Amog, if you have got the computer back, can you write a program to find whether a number is a prime number or not?
Yes, sir, I'm writing it now, sir.
Okay, very good. Yes. Right. So, okay, guys, Arush, Carson, Sriram, Darashvi, can you tell how will you swap the numbers? So, okay, what exactly we want to do here when we are trying to swap? What exactly we are trying to do here? Let's start with a very basic. What are we trying to do here? What is the intent of swapping? What do we want our program to do? Our program has to swap the values, right? Which means what? Once our program has executed, what should happen? What should happen?
So the variable x should be equal to 50 and the variable y should be equal to 25.
Excellent, excellent. That is how the swap will work, right? So now here, we want these values to go in each other, right? So we can actually print this value before the swap, right? So we'll say values before swap, and we can actually pass on X and Y. So if you run this code, it will print something like this. Oh, okay, no, not this. I'm just going to stop this and just want to run this. Okay. So rename if I'm running this, why it is going there? So it is printing this. I don't want to run. I want to run this program. Okay, so then something is okay. Let me just get rid of this here, and I'll go to the main program. I'll just remove this, and I'll do the swapping here. Okay. So when I run this, let's see what happens. Okay. See the value before swap 25 and 50. I can put a little bit like this, right? So values before swap is 25 and 50. So after swap, the value should become 50 and 25. So what should we do? So you said to use the variables, right? To use the assignment. So can we do something like this here? Can we do something like this? X is equal to Y and Y is equal to X. Will this work? Will this work?
Sir, I don't think so.
Okay, that's the right answer. But why will it not work?
Sir, because X and Y will both turn to 50.
Yeah, very good. Because in this line, both will become equal. And the value which was stored in X, what will happen to that?
Sir, it will, the value which is stored in X will get deleted, and it will just duplicate the value of Y, because the
Very good. Excellent, Arush. Yeah, so the value of X will get lost. Okay. So for the value of X, it should not be lost. We can use a third variable, right, called Z. Z is our another variable. It's a temporary variable. Name can be anything, but we will assign the value of Z. We'll assign the value of X to Z so that it's not lost. And then we assign the value of Y to X. So what should we do here to complete the swap? Sriram and Carson, can you tell? What should we do to complete the swap?
so Y is equal to Z.
Excellent, Arush. Excellent. So this will complete the swap, and we can test it out by executing it, right? You see, value before swap is 25 and 50, and values are, sorry, it has to be after swap. After swap is 50 and 25. So this is how it will show the values, correct? Right, so this is what is the number swapping, okay? Right, so this is one of the ways in which you can swap the number, but there is a cool way, cool Python way. Instead of doing all this, what simply we can do is, we'll just comment the code here, okay, and simply Python way is equal to X comma Y is equal to Y comma Z. Done, swapping is done. This is the Python way. Okay, so now if we just run it, okay, so Z is, okay, sorry, not Z, it is X, right? So this is what we will do, and then once we run it, then see the swap has happened, correct? So this is a Python way of doing the swap. It's a much simpler way, but you can achieve it. But there is an underlying concept to it, which will be covered during the class. But this can be easily done to swap. Okay. So this is basically the second program. And can you all write the program to swap two numbers? Can you go to your REPL shell and go to your main.py and write a program to swap the numbers?
Sir, I finished my program, sir, for prime number.
Okay,
It's
good.
successful, sir.
It's successful. Okay, so
I
you,
sent you, sir.
yeah, I can see it. I'm just taking a look. So program to find. Okay, you're good. Give the comments. Definition prime. Okay, you use a function and the person to. Okay. So this basically. Okay, so prime number. You understand, right, Amog? What is the prime number?
Sir, values that are not divided by 2, they are called prime numbers, sir.
So yeah, actually,
Two,
prime number is the value, a number which can be only divided by one and itself.
yes, 1 and itself.
Itself.
Yes.
So yeah, so division by two actually that is for check for whether the number is even or odd.
Yes, sir, and I should check.
Okay.
So only for finding even or that one, sir. Not
Yeah,
for
so the
the-
function which you have mentioned here is it is to find whether the number is even or odd. For prime number, you have to actually a prime number is a number which uh, does not get divided by any other number than one and itself. That is the program which you should write. Can you try again?
Yes, sir. I'll try it again.
Okay, very good. Okay, so others, Arush, Sri Ram, and Carson, can you just try writing the program for swapping? Tarashvi, you can also try if you have a computer with you. Or you can use a REPL.it. You can actually open the browser and you can try it out. This is the swapping of the number. The first way, this is basically, it's called, this is called the traditional way or classic way. This is Python way of swapping. Okay. Right. So can you try for yourself? So this is a program. I think you have understood. So you can just write by yourself. I'm just going to remove it so that you don't refer it. Okay. So Carson, Arush, try for yourself. Let me in. Okay. So let me in is already in, right? So okay. So guys, is it Sriram? Arush, Sriram? Can you just start your cameras? Sriram is hiding behind let me in. Okay, so all of you can write the program, Carson, and once you're done with it, you just let me know that whether you've done with it or not. Carson done. Swapping of the numbers. Sriram done.
Sir, I cannot write, sir. The program, sir.
Okay,
I cannot
no
write
problem.
functions, sir.
No problem, Amol. That's okay. Okay, so I was telling, can you just write swapping in a Python way? One way you said, right? Classic way in which you use temporary variable. I just covered a Python way, which is just using this kind of mechanism. Okay, you can do the swapping like this. Right, so that is a second way of doing the swap. So guys, can you just complete, all of you, can you complete this swapping program?
Can I also write, sir? Write it, sir?
Yeah, Mog, you can write in both the ways. So this is first way. And this is the second way. So you are done, let me know. Harish, done?
Yes, sir, I'm done.
Very good. So you're able to swap and you're able to print it, right?
Yes, sir.
Even Amok, sir.
Yeah, Mog. You could do both the ways.
Yes, sir. Sir, I got this in that classic method in one C programming book, sir, when I was reading one.
Yeah, classic method is a usual normal method which is generally used. But this is the Python way of swapping it. But there is some inherent concept which is coming into play, which is called unpacking, unpacking tuples, which anyway we'll be covering in the class. So this is what. Okay. Carson, could you get this swapping? Carson, are you able to write this program for swapping of the numbers?
No, sir. Not getting it.
You're not getting it.
It's showing indentation error.
Okay. So the space is very important. You cannot have space like this. In Python, space have values. Okay, so make sure you don't have any space in front of the statement. When your line starts, you don't have to have statements like this. It will create problem in Python.
So will you refer that prime number code as find the way to find odd or even numbers, sir?
Yeah, so this is basically odd and even number code which you have sent. In prime number, you will have to use some kind of looping functionality.
So it should be complicated.
Okay, have you must have used while loop or for loop, right?
Yes, sir. Sir, only I have a problem in for loops, sir. I cannot understand some of the basic for loops.
Okay, no problem.
Sir, should we
Yeah.
leave?
No, just so you have to finish the program, right? You just give me 5 more minutes because I think you guys are still doing the program, right? Finish the program.
Sir, I
Sir,
complete.
You completed? Okay, very good. Okay, so guys, like you can just complete this program if you have not been able to do it so far. But I hope you had good learning on Python programming. this is just a beginning of Python programming, and you have seen the course curriculum, right? You saw that what are the things which we covered in Python programming. This is something which we have covered, right? And in each actually classwork, you also do a lot of classworks, like you'll create number guessing game, dice rolling game, then factorial, prime number, reversing a string, these are different things, then kilometer to miles converter, all these things you will do as a classwork. Okay, then building this application, which is penny bank application, a bank application, a simpler form of that. All these things are there, and then building the snake game also, you will do it in the class, right? So these are the different things. And today, what are the things which you learned? Can you tell me? Can we summarize what are the things which you guys learned today? So you guys learned how to run Python program, right? Run Python code, right? Then you wrote your first program, correct? What was the first program?
Print hello world. Hello Python.
Yeah. So that is hello. After hello world, the real program which you wrote was, which was the real program which you wrote, which was solving some problem?
Hello Python. Hello Python.
Yeah, hello. After hello Python, what was the code which you wrote?
So that find the area of a circle.
Yeah, area of circle, right? So you did something. Then you also saw how to take user input using inputs, right? You to know how to take user inputs, correct? Then you learned swapping, correct? Along with various other things, common
Sir,
computer terminology.
sir, I have a doubt, sir.
Yes.
So how to define constants in Python, sir?
So in Python, you generally don't have anything constant. You cannot define any variable as constant. What only thing is you can indicate, you can use all caps to indicate that, okay, this is a constant. Okay. So like, for example, if I use this, it will mean, okay, pi which I'm defining, this is actually a constant. Yeah, so this is fine. Okay, great. So guys, I will basically send you this notes, what we covered in today's class. You can go through the notes. There'll be some assignments also. Do it. And on just a closing note, I just wanted to show you something. This, you know this gentleman. Can you tell who is this gentleman?
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs. He is the father of Mac, Apple computers, and also father of iPhone. You know, he conceptualized iPhone and even your computers, iMac, Macintosh computers. So this great person says a great thing. Everyone should learn how to code. It teaches you how to think. Okay, so we all should learn properly how to code. Coding is nothing but a new important skill, something like your maths and science. So coding is very important, and you continue learning on technology, and you continue learning coding. Python opens door for a lot, basically the real life professional level coding. Okay, so that's a very important skill. So this is what this great person says, and we should listen to him. With that, I will close the class. I'll send you the notes. There'll be some assignments. These are some of the assignments which you can try it out, and continue to learn technology. Okay, continue to learn coding, technology, robotics. All that is so important. Okay. Okay, guys. So thank you for joining today's class. I hope you enjoyed it. And
Sir, I updated my programs that to find prime number to odd and even numbers.
yeah, so you can try that program, Amog. Okay, in your free time, you can try your program. Yeah, so you change your program to odd and even. Okay. You can try the program for prime number. Also, see how you approach that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Fine. Okay, guys. So have a nice evening, and I'll see you later. Okay. Take care and have a great evening. Bye-bye.
Sir.
Bye.